You know what? Nobody cares. I'm going to shut up because I need to understand what you want. If you give people enough space, they will reveal themselves to you. The biggest mistake people make is they talk a lot. Stephen, if I'm doing all the talking and you're doing all the listening, you're learning everything about me. You're learning about what I care about, my values, my belief systems. You're getting a good read on me, and I'm learning nothing about you. There's a myth that people think if I do most of the talking, I have control. It's garbage. You have the power because you've got me now. What I will tell you is what you want to understand is that person's motivational mindset. What are you motivated by? So that is your value and belief system. Everybody's motivated by something different, but I have to hear you and pay attention to you to understand what that is. Everybody's purpose is different. Example I gave you with the Russian, he's motivated by money.
How did you figure that out? Was there a certain question or was it just?
One, his action showed it because he wants money. And then in talking to him, I believe he had a wife home. He had a kid home. He grew up a certain way. So you just listen. Here, have a drink. Talk to me. Let me know. If you give people enough space, they will reveal themselves to you. But we're so busy talking. We're so busy making noise because we think everybody needs to hear me. I'm identity. Everybody needs to know me, 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 me. And you know what? Nobody cares.
Is there something in that as well where when you listen to someone, they like you more?
Yeah, they like you more because everybody loves to talk about themselves because everybody wants to feel heard. Now, I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to push back on the little bit of the like thing because even in business, people are like, I need people to like me. I need people to like me. That is a trek for disaster because now you're focused on not what your goal is, but I need to make somebody like me. Those are two different animals. If my goal is to do a deal with you, then I'm going to focus on what do I need to get this deal done. If my goal is to get you to like me, which is much more complex and much more confusing, and also it's going to mess me up in trying to figure that out. I say this, don't focus on making people like you because you can do everything right and people may still just not like you. Instead, focus on how about I'm going to be competent in what I do. When I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. When I say I can do something, I actually can do it. When I say I'm going to be there at 9, I'm there at 8:55. In the U.S. Secret Service, we had a saying, if you're on time, you're late, that I'm competent. When you see that, are you going to like me for that? Yes, you are.
I'll respect you.
Now, there's warmth. Warmth is the other element here. Warmth is, I show you respect. So instead of me trying to get you to like me, how about I just show you respect?
What does that look like in reality, showing someone respect? Is that, again, the timekeeping?
I'm listening to you. I show up on time. I follow through with what I say I'm going to do. I'm also open and approachable. I'm also non-judgmental. That's a big thing. Everybody is kind of like throwing their weight around. Let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I think. Nobody needs to know what you think. It doesn't matter. If you're really trying to build a connection with a person, then build it and let them tell you what they think. Because now I see the world through your lens, not mine. I always say especially I do a lot of keynotes and training for businesses, you don't matter. They matter. What do they want? What do they need? What's important to them? Let them tell you. And then when they tell you, instead of trying to guess how to enter a conversation, because you're coming in the blind, but what do? I shut up, I listen, I let you reveal to me what matters to you, what your values are, and then I come in more intelligently into the conversation and I speak to you. You have to know your audience, but you don't know your audience if you're doing all the talking. Everybody's motivated by something different. If you take my motivational factor growing up, I was never motivated by money. My Russian was. Greed. That's fair, but I wasn't. Whenever I got a job, I never looked at the pay. NYPD, I had no idea what my salary was. When I went to the U.S. Secret Service, I never once asked them, what's the pay? Because I wasn't motivated by that. I was motivated by the mission, by the purpose. But people will show you that. So the recruiter that talked to me probably realized this woman never once asked me what her salary is going to be. She's not motivated by that. Those are little things that people show you. People will show you what they care about if we just hold back, stay silent, ask good questions, and you know what? We're genuinely curious. I genuinely want to get to know you. I genuinely want to understand you. I don't genuinely want to tell you all about me. That's different. And the one factor that's really important is not having judgment, being non-judgmental. When you show judgment to another person, they're going to filter what they say, they're going to shut down, they're going to hold back because nobody likes to be judged. I would interview in the polygraph room people who committed really horrible crimes against children. A lot of people would say to me, how can you sit there and listen to it and not, tell them what you thought or not ream them out? I was like, because my goal was to get information to see where there are other victims. How did they do it? I want to know what they did so that I can make sure that this doesn't happen again and that I do maybe get information so I can get a conviction. And then I also want to know if there are other victims out there. My goal is not to check somebody and put him in his place or her and tell them what I think of them. Those are two different things. Also in the room, my goal was not to get them to like me. My goal was to get them to feel heard, to feel respected, for me to be professional. And I think we bring the wrong terms because it's confusing. If I want you to like me too, think of it this way, that I'm going to think I have to be nice to him. I have to be his friend. And when you're in business, you can be warm, but when you start becoming people's friends, that's when the lines get blurred and we get confused. And in fact, there's research done by Susan Fisk and Chris Malone, and they say, be warm to people, be open and approachable. But if you're overly nice, overly kind, overly polite, that's when you get rolled. You want to find that beautiful balance where I'm a professional, I'm warm, I'm non-judgmental, come talk to me, tell me. But at the same time, I maintain my authority, I maintain my boundaries.